Hi Taurus, and welcome to your video. If you are new here, this is Tree Cat Tarot and I am Tree Cat. And today we're going to take a look at your month of April. I have pulled already several oracle cards for you, including these fairy tale oracle cards. We're going to take a look at those first, just to get an overall sense of your month of April, and then we're going to go over to the tarot. And we're going to get some more messages from the tarot about your overall month of April, as well as pulling 2 cards apiece for 11 relationships, career and finances, and health and spirituality. And then we'll take a look at the other oracle cards that I've already pulled for you guys. A few things before we get started that I just noticed while shuffling, or that I sort of felt when I was shuffling your fairy tale cards right here. I heard choose your own adventure, so I don't know if there's a lot of things for you Taurus that are not really set in stone just yet. And that's just kind of how everything works, right? Like, you end up where you're supposed to end up, but you still get to kind of choose the path there. Nothing is fully set in stone. We have free choice. We have free will, right? So the other thing is Intentions by We Came as Romans was playing in my head. So that song, I love that song actually. It is very much a song about the sanctity of brotherhood essentially, but I feel like you can relate it to the overall sanctity of humanity, right? Of connectedness, of being interconnected with everything within the universe. And just, I recommend that song to anybody. Like, definitely go give it a listen. I love that song. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started and see what we have for you. So the card that represents you, Taurus, we have Moon in reverse. I don't normally take reversals for this particular set of cards, but I am going to this time, just because I've literally been doing this for like over a year and it's never felt correct to do it until now. So I'm doing it now. We have the Gentleman in reverse, card number 28. We have Child, card number 13. And we have Crossroads, card number 22. That's very interesting. I'm actually going to pull more cards on the Crossroads here in a second. So everything being in reverse here, combined with the fact that we have the moon right here in this deck, the moon means cycles. So a cycle you've been repeating. I am going to, like I said, pull more cards on what the Crossroads here is, because it appeared all the way over here instead of here. I feel like for some of you, like, there's a strong feeling of like you haven't really been super connected with your own inner child. That's one thing that I'm kind of getting, especially because he's pointing his cup away from it. So a sort of abandoning of the internal child, right? Needing to grow up too fast, needing to take on responsibilities that maybe you should not have been ready to take on, things like that. Okay. And you're being presented with a choice between continuing to abandon that part of yourself and something else. And I'm actually going to find out what that something else is here in a second. I'm just kind of feeling into this a little bit more. Yeah, especially because like he's pointing his cup this direction. This road is going this direction. I feel like for those of you that this is going to resonate with, you've been doing this for a very, very long time. It probably, like, as strange as this is going to sound, it probably makes you feel safe to abandon that part of yourself. But the problem is that our own inner children never stop screaming for our love and attention. That's the thing. If you were never shown a lot of love as a child, or you weren't shown a lot of attention, or someone never really tried to be there for you, you're going to have a really hard time knowing how to show that to yourself. And then we have to go through a process of reparenting ourselves, which can be really, it is what it sounds like, but it feels a little weird when you first start doing it. So, like, instead of talking to yourself harshly, you talk to yourself the way you would a child. Most people would not talk to a child harshly, not in actuality. So, like, for myself, when I first started with this concept, because I had to go through this journey too, I used to, like, just be really hard on myself and be like, like, do this, come on, why can't you do it, blah, blah, blah. It was very reminiscent of the way my mom would talk to me, except honestly, like, even less harsh than the way she would talk to me. Which, if you didn't hear kind words when you were a child, your own inner voice is going to be reminiscent of that voice, right? So instead, like, I had to just start talking to myself like if I was trying to encourage a small child to do the thing that I needed to get myself to do. Like, if it was having a hard time even just getting out of bed because I was so depressed, I would be like, okay, can you just, like, swing your legs off of the bed for me? Like, can we just get in a vertical position for me? And like I'm talking to a child. And then I would do it, and I would praise myself for it. And it wasn't until I was doing it that I realized how much I needed to hear that. How much I needed to be shown appreciation for small things. Because I had gotten to a point to where I was constantly holding myself to perfection. And so when you're constantly holding yourself to perfection, what eventually happens is every little thing that you could possibly do feels heavy because now you give it so much weight. Sorry about that, guys. I needed to get a drink of water. Speaking of not taking care of yourself very well. So I'm actually going to shuffle really fast and see what this other choice that you have, rather than continually to abandon your own inner child. What other choice do you have? Which, I mean, it sounds obvious. The choice would be to, start being kinder to yourself, more compassionate to yourself, and actually start having more fun so that you can be more in tune with that part of yourself. But what would it lead to is more what we're going to look at. And it kind of makes sense why I heard choose your own adventure when I was shuffling these cards, because it turns out we need now more cards. That doesn't always happen, but it does every now and then. Okay, here we have mountain. That kind of makes sense. That also, however, it's a vague card. Mountain is, normally it means a blockage. And this is kind of the point where I say, whatever this is going to be, it's for you to discover. And this isn't something that's going to be done by the end of April, which generally anything traumatic that we've been doing to ourselves, you don't heal that in a month. You weren't doing the harmful activity for only a month. You were likely doing it for years. So it doesn't heal in a matter of a month either. With mountain here, yeah, it's definitely going to be something where you're starting the beginning of a journey. And maybe that's why you have continued to go ahead and abandon your own inner child for a very long time, because it's familiar, it's easier. And the other choice that you have, you don't know what it's going to lead to. But often what our life could look like, the next version of our life, it's on the other side of the mountain that we think is too hard to climb. The other thing I'm thinking of actually is a book. I can't remember the name of the author. But the book is called The Mountain Is You, and it's about self-sabotage, essentially. I have not read it myself, but it often comes highly recommended, so maybe you want to look into that book if you're the self-help kind of person. But yeah, so it looks like for you, April is going to be about trying to get out of your own way in ending cycles that you have been in for quite some time. Also, if we didn't get into numbers, I can't remember if we did. We have 32, 21, 22, 13, and 28. Let's go ahead and... Also, the mountain here is the only card that's in the upright. So that indicates to me that for some of you, not some of you, but for several of you, this is going to be the choice that you make this time. This time you make the choice to address the fact that you need to reparent yourself. So let's go ahead and move into the traditional tarot and see what we have here for the month of April for you. All right, we have the Page of Swords in the reverse. We have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, and we have the Eight of Pentacles. So we have Libra energy, Virgo energy, and Capricorn energy. So with the Page of Swords in the reverse, that indicates to me the strong feeling of I don't know what I'm doing, right? A strong feeling of I don't know what I'm doing. Especially coming out over here with the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. The Two of Pentacles in reverse is when we're trying to juggle too many things and we're dropping the ball, and it's largely due to the fact that we have the Eight of Pentacles here. The Eight of Pentacles is a sense of perfectionism. We are trying to be all that we can be. We are trying to be perfect, and we're slowly learning that we can't do it. And that does kind of call back to what we were talking about earlier, okay? If we have a hard time giving ourselves nurturance and giving ourselves grace and compassion, we often are going to hold ourselves to a place of perfection. And so doing something as small as admitting that you don't know what you're doing in some aspect of your life, that's going to be very difficult to do. The other thing, I love these cards because they're incredibly detailed and different things call out to me during different readings. In this card, what I'm really looking at is the fact that she's dancing on her own coffin. Okay. So I don't want to interpret it this way, but my brain's not letting me interpret it any other way. Literally, if you don't get out of this place of perfectionism, it's going to be the death of you. Okay? So, sorry, my throat feels so dry with your reading. Maybe some of you aren't drinking enough water and you need to be drinking more. Fuck, I was having a thought when I was drinking it too. Oh, so some of you, it could be that you have a very scary experience that kind of shakes you out of the cycle that you've been in, or that at least makes you take a step back. Maybe some of you are really sick right now. And you're making yourself sick. Trying to be everything. And holding that to yourself. Yeah, because actually the other thing that I just noticed here, so the Page of Swords here is represented by the Headless Horseman. And his head is nowhere to be found on this card, but over here, she's holding somebody's head. So a couple of you, it could be that you're super sick. It could be, or that you get super sick in April. It could be, Finn, my goodness. Hi. Hi, baby. It could be that some of you, like I said earlier, have some kind of dangerous or scary experience. I swear to God, I was not coughing like this during the previous reading. Or even maybe a mental breakdown, and that's what shakes you awake and makes you decide to change how you're going about things. Realizing that you need to go back to the drawing board and certain things that you believed about yourself and your ability to take all of your trauma and shove it under a rug. You're realizing that that isn't going to work in the long run, that you need to actually address it. I'm feeling like I can't catch my breath. Holy shit. Let's go ahead and move over to your love and relationships and see what we have over there. That's 3 cards, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take it. Interesting. We have the Ace of Cups coming out with the Queen of Cups in the reverse. That's Gemini and Cancer energy. Coming out with the 9 of Wands also in the reverse. That is Sagittarius energy. Okay, so there's a lot going on here in terms of love and relationships. So Ace of Cups is a big indicator of either a new relationship or a new connection. With the Queen of Cups in the reverse, however, one of you is not being super forthcoming in an emotional sort of way. For a couple of you, like, someone's being emotionally manipulative. Only take that if it resonates. It doesn't have to. It's not going to be for all of you. These are general reads. So for those of you where you feel like someone's maybe being emotionally manipulative, or perhaps even maybe you're being, like, not even necessarily emotionally manipulative, but like maybe someone isn't in a great place emotionally, like they're not the most emotionally stable, or they're currently in a place where they need to be giving more love to themselves rather than sharing it with another person. Like I said, that could be you or the person you're dealing with. I feel like because we do have specifically the Ace of Cups, this is quite specifically a romantic relationship that we're talking about. With the 9 of Wands in the reverse, that is the advice that maybe to take a step back for this month. It's not the 8 of Cups. Like, so the 8 of Cups would be walking away. It's not that you... Okay, sorry about that. I went ahead and blew out the candles just to see if that would help at all. Where was I? So for those of you where there's a feeling of either like emotional instability or someone not being in a place right now where they can actually openly give and receive love, There is a message here to go ahead and not necessarily give up on the connection, but to go ahead and take a step back, giving each other more space at this time. Especially if you're the one who feels like they can't, who feels like they need to be focusing on their own self-love at this time. That might be a bigger priority right now than actually pursuing a new connection. So, but the other thing too with the Ace of Cups in reverse, I'm not saying that any of you need to like go ahead and like break up or stop seeing anybody or anything like that. It's just making it less of a focus and a little less of a priority. And all relationships have lulls, right? Like all relationships have periods in which you're more focused on other things than cultivating that. It doesn't necessarily make it go away. It doesn't mean that you stop caring for one another or that you stop corresponding. It just means that it's not your focus day in and day out. So let's go ahead and move over to your career and finances. I also keep hearing smoker, so if one of you smokes and you've been thinking about quitting, this would be a great time to quit. All right, we have the Two of Wands in the up hand. That's Aries energy. Oh my gosh. I wonder if you're going to get 3 cards for the health and spirituality portion too. We have the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. That is Leo energy and Virgo energy. And we have the Six of Wands. That is also Leo energy. Okay. So if there is something that if you've been wanting to make a career change or you've been wanting to make a really big investment, I feel like for a lot of you, you're kind of in this Knight of Pentacles in reverse energy where you're not sure, you don't know if it's the right move, and you're feeling just kind of non-committal towards whatever it is. This is Spirit letting you know that whatever hesitations that you have, you need to go ahead and shut those down, because with the Two of Wands here, you're actually ready for whatever the next phase is, whether that be a career change, a promotion, an investment, something of that nature. And with the Six of Wands, you're going to have victory with whatever this is, but you need to go ahead and allow yourself to commit. So whatever it is that you have been thinking about doing in the month of April that scares you the most, that's the thing you need to be going towards in terms of career and finances. I feel like that message is pretty straightforward, and that could be like because Ace of Cups over here, we're just gonna pop back over here for a second. Ace of Cups over here could also mean new home. It could also mean a new home. So it could be, if it's that, if like none of you are pursuing a love interest, none of you are in a relationship, there is no new connections, nothing like that, if that made no sense for you. Ace of Cups can often mean a new home. And if that's the case, then the way I would interpret these other cards, with these cards right here, I would say it's a good decision. It's a good investment to make. And I would say, like, not letting yourself get discouraged if it feels overwhelming is what I would say. So for health and spirituality, let's see what you have over here, you know, other than drink water and stop smoking. I'm joking. Unless you do have those problems, then yes, drink water and stop smoking. All right. We have the Queen of Swords here, and we have the Three of Wands in the reverse. You have a lot of face cards. I just want to point out. Which, when I see a lot of face cards, which would be the Page of Swords right here, Queen of Cups over here, the Knight of Pentacles here, the Queen of Swords here, I see a lot of moving parts in the month of April that have to do with decisions and choices that other people make. So it's not so much that you are being moved through life by other people and their decisions. It's not that. You still, at the end of the day, have free will, and you still, at the end of the day, are the person making the decisions in your life, but you're going to be a little bit more affected this month than you normally would be by decisions other people make. So let's see, that's Aries energy, Libra, and Virgo again. I feel like I see a lot of Virgo energy in your reading. So wherever in your chart you have Virgo, you might want to pay special attention to that. Also, days that the moon is going to be in Virgo, that is going to be, let's take a look, see over here. That's going to be the 18th, 19th, and 20th. So those could be important dates for you. So the Queen of Swords in the uphand in your health and spirituality sector, coming out with the Three of Wands in the reverse. You might be experiencing quite a bit of miscommunication at this time, and things happening not really when you're wanting them to, not at the speed that you want them to, and it might be causing a lot of stress and frustration at this time. With the Queen of Swords, do your best to maintain your tact, your patience, and just not letting the stress get to you about whatever's going on. And that's, I think, probably why I felt like pointing out that there's a lot of moving parts that are not completely within your control. There's a lot of correspondence with other people happening in the month of April that, again, miscommunication, things not going as you would like them to. So what's being asked of you in the month of April is to go ahead and take your focus back to yourself. And remember that the only person that you can actually control is you. And in the end, that means that all you can control is your own response to how things happen. So with that being said, let's go over and move to your other oracle cards here. We're going to start with the biggest and move to the smallest. Okay, we have Basil with reconciliation. So for some of you, and I did kind of feel that earlier, that for some of you, maybe there's some reconciliation with an old partner, but I'm not getting that as much as I'm getting with actually if there is a parental figure that you are estranged from, like a mom or a dad that you haven't talked to in a very long time or that you're not super connected with. I feel like that connection is going to come into some form of renewal in the month of April. And that might be what helps to kickstart your ability to start being kinder to yourself. Like maybe one of your parents wasn't there for you, or they weren't super kind to you, and maybe they apologize for it. And that ends up being what you need to hear in order to realize that you need to do more work on yourself. The other thing with basil is also a money plant. it is a good luck plant for money. And it's making me think of something else. I want to say basil is a plant that you can use to like clean the air. So one of you doesn't have very clean air, or maybe you're smoking too much, or maybe there's a lot of pollution where you live, or it could be the cleaning of air in a more metaphorical sense. You need to clean the air between you and another person. You need to have a conversation that is a little bit heavier, more difficult to have. For your Moon Oracle card, we have card number 6. And all these pretty little bees. Did you have bees in another card? I guess not. But collaboration brings more sweetness into my life and into the world. Bees could also just be a sign for you from the universe that you are going towards what you need to be going towards. And in my personal opinion, seeing bees is good anyway, just because, you know, we rely on them so much in order to be able to have food to eat as a species. Literally, the bees go, we're going with them. So yeah, maybe you're collaborating with someone at this time. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. Again, with like the need to work closer with certain people or to communicate more with certain people in order to get different things going in your life. I'm actually going to peek over to the book and see what ritual is associated with this card. Oh, it opened right up to it. Collaborate to activate. Connect with one or more people to work with on a project. Your goal can be creative, work-related, or health-oriented. Hold each other accountable and successfully reach the finish line together. Is it time to feed your aspirations with the combined genius of others? Is something in your life calling for more productivity? Are you open to inspiration outside of your own hive? Pick your project and begin this week. Manifest a vision you've been repeatedly think about. Choose the one that fills your body with a big resounding yes. Write a plan, set deadlines, create your team, and make it real. Volunteer with others for a meaningful and inspiring cause. Co-create your moon circle. Choose a self-care ritual and invite others to join you so you can grow and reach your goal together. Actually, when it was talking about making a plan, it did make me think of how a lot of people will plan certain goals, especially like new things in their life, around the moon cycle, and like starting the goal on the new moon, and then like doing whatever releasing that they would have to do on the full moon. And just from that point forward, they're just kind of tying up loose ends and reflecting to see what could be done better next time. So maybe you start working with the moon more in order to help boost along your goals with the universe. Or maybe you just start learning to work together with other people more. Maybe you start volunteering or get together and I heard petition. Something to do with a cause, I think, is what this refers to more than anything else. So without further ado, let's go ahead to your answer scenario cards. We have, I am tired of my own shit. Chanting, praying, or repeating positive affirmations will help me move through it. Okay. I will tell you right now, affirmations work so much better than I ever thought they would. I started doing affirmations like in the morning about 1.5 years ago, and now I do them every single morning still. And just the act of writing things out that are kind for me to say to myself, or that are good for me to affirm about myself, my abilities, and my relationship to the universe, like writing things like, I expect good things. that alone, just the simple act of taking 5 minutes each day to write down those kinds of things will start to rewire your brain slowly but surely. And it's a super direct way to go about it, but it also requires so little energy. So, like, if you're really busy, you can generally find time to do this. If you are struggling through exhaustion or depression, it won't take a lot of energy to get yourself to do this one little thing. And a little hack that I do to make it easier on myself is before each month, I actually brainstorm a bunch of affirmations and I put them in my phone, but I put them in my phone so that they appear on different rotations. So like I'll have one that I'll have it appear like once every 8 days for a period of time. I'll have another one that I'll have appear every 3 days for a period of time. I even have some that appear like once every 10 days. It depends on how long I plan on using that affirmation for. And I put dozens of them in there, right? And the thing is that by doing it like that, you kind of forget different ones. So then when you see them again, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. And it feels new. It feels fresh. It helps keep you from getting bored with the act of doing it. But you're still also interacting with repetition. So that is really all I have for you, Taurus. Thank you for coming to your reading. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And also make sure to take a look at the other reads as I release them so that you can see your sun, moon, and rising to get a better overall scope of what your upcoming month is going to bring you. If you need a little bit more, I do offer personal reads. The link to my own schedule is going to be in the description box below. And if not, I'm just happy to be here and exchange energy with you. Take care, and I will see you again soon. Be good, be safe, and love and light to you. Bye.